and as I've stepped up as a father over the last several years, I've tried to get closer to my oldest daughter and build a stronger relationship with her. But when you don't do that early on, it's definitely affected down the road. And I kind of miss those early crucial years. And I see it. We're close, but we're not that close. And it may have something to do with her just kind of pulling away as a teenager too. Might be a combination of the two.
Do you think it will get closer?
I hope it does. I hope even if it kind of goes further away, that ultimately maybe as she becomes a young woman and she becomes an adult, that maybe she'll come back. I've talked to other women that have kind of given me that scenario, how they kind of separated from their father and then they kind of came back. Now they have a good relationship as an adult relationship. So I'm kind of hoping for that as well. I'm hoping it'll kind of come back around full circle, and and we'll end up with a really good relationship. It isn't bad now. It's just that I missed those early crucial years with her, where you form that, like I said, that foundation. And I had that with the little girl because I was there, during those early years.
Okay, so we'll get to the criminal record and how that plays a part in the workplace. But I'm pretty sure those who've been following your story since the first episode is probably wondering, we haven't heard Jason's name. This is a big deal going on in your family.
Yeah.
With your oldest daughter now being interested to the point where she wants to begin to start courting and dating. So does Jason, you've had this back and forth with your daughter, passed the message to her mother, you and her mother just got into the conversation. How does Jason feel about all this, or do you not know yet?
I don't know, and I don't know that he's said anything. I don't even know if I make an assumption that Anna may be discussing it with him because that he is her spouse. But I haven't asked her. Actually, that might be a good question that when I talk to her, when we further this discussion, maybe ask her if she's talked to him about it and see kind of what's being said, if she's willing to share between them two. However, over the past couple of weeks, me and Jason have talked more. Not like hung out or anything, but
right.
He was. My daughter had her 15-year-old birthday party last week at Carrabba's. He was there. They were actually up taking, photos and everything like that. My aunt was there. She's a photographer taking photos. They were taking a photo. Anna, my daughter, and Jason. So as a friendly gesture, as a extended family gesture, I ran up and jumped in the photo. And I looked over and I'm like, I hope you don't mind. We're both standing there with Anna and Adriana getting a couple photos, And as soon as I get them, maybe I'll post it on the Facebook page. But, a lot of his family was there, a little bit of my family, more so his family. And I didn't feel any kind of way about it. I just wanted to kind of show like, hey, I get it now. We're all a family now. Maybe you're not my family, but you're part of my daughter's family now, which in essence is an extension of me. So we can all just kind of.
What's interesting is with family dynamics and family structures like yours, it's really cool that you did that, because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, those type of pictures is what your daughters are going to be looking for. Because they're going to have those throwback Thursdays and flashback Fridays. And they're going to be like, wow, this is a picture with all of us in it. Or look, this is a picture with my dad and Jason in it. Because, I only have less than a handful of pictures with me, my sister, my biological mother, my biological father. And when I see these, whenever people bring them out, I'm like, what? Really? And I just make a big deal about it. So I think what you did by squeezing in that picture, I think that's really cool. It may not be as big right now, but like you said, with your daughter, she may come back around because 20, 30 years from now, she's going to see that picture and that's going to mean something to everybody in your family. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting that you would say that because I wasn't even thinking that. It was almost like I didn't even consider that. It was almost like, to use a church phrase, the spirit moved me. You know? Like I felt the inkling to do that, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I jumped up there, and it was fun, and everybody had a laugh, and everyone had smiled. Like, I've been to family things where there's fights and yelling and cursing. Like it was fun, and we had a good time, and you had these two families together, and everyone's talking to everyone else. It was good. It was good.
See, as you tell your story, man, I think I believe you're a guy of moments. Like you was talking about earlier, like, you may not spend $3,000 on a Christmas, I believe you said.
Yeah.
But you'll create these moments. And when you really look back in your life, the older you get, it's really all about moments.
Yeah,
and
yeah, exactly.
What you just did by the spirit moving you, whatever, that was a moment.
Yeah.
Like it was a sense of normalcy. Like, all right, everybody had, or people that's closest to you had to been like, this normally doesn't happen. And although nobody said anything, you created an everlasting moment. And I believe that just if you keep hearing you just share your story, your daughter, when you talk to her about the, I guess, quote unquote, birds and the bees, you got her in the car, right? And that was a moment.
Yeah.
Right? You created a moment. She can never say that never happened.
Yeah.
Because you could easily just say it at dinner or at lunch or in a family setting, but it's just a family setting at that point.
Yeah.
But when you create these moments, those trips to DC, those trips to Baltimore, these are all moments. The Slim Jim, right? The Slim Jim for the first time, that's a moment. You keep creating these moments. I really, really love that. And the fact that you just got up and got in that picture, really big. We have to get to this. You know what? We might have to go to the criminal background next
time. I was looking at that. I do see the time. This was good. I didn't know my daughter was going to take up this whole section, but yeah, we can definitely get into that next time.
You got to give us Mother's Day. Just let's take a few minutes and let's talk about this Mother's Day, because you did talk about you said Mother's Day's coming up, and you said you're interested. You didn't say you're definitely, but you said you're thinking about taking your mother out for Mother's Day.
Yeah. So we've discussed.
Know that that's almost an oxymoron.
Exactly. So we discussed, my relationship with my mother, or the lack thereof, a mother and son relationship. My girlfriend's been kind of like prodding me, with my relationship with my mother, trying, like I have one perspective, and I've shared all that with her as well, but she has the perspective of, you don't know what she was experiencing or what she was going through. You don't know what in life was, just basically as a woman, as a single mother, as a woman that ended up pregnant by a guy that impregnated her and then took off. You don't know what she was going through. All you know is that she wasn't there to take care of you, so you have all those feelings wrapped up in you, So she's kind of been on, on the one side, and and then I saw that Mother's Day was coming up, and I just thought, like, again, maybe like the spirit moving me a little bit, like I don't know what's going. She's been like, "Have you hugged your mother?" I'm like, "No, I can't do that. Like, I could hug a stranger before I hug my mother. It feels weird. It's something that is a difficult task to do." But as Mother's Day is approaching, I thought, you know what? Maybe I don't know what will come of it, but if I'm going to take any steps, and I don't know where it's going to lead, but if I'm going to start to understand what she was going through in life, which will maybe explain a lot about why our relationship is the way it is, or why it was the way it was, then maybe that's a step. Maybe we go out to dinner. Maybe we don't even get into anything deep. Maybe I just take her out to dinner. Maybe I ask her a question. I don't know.
So is your girlfriend more so kind of bringing this up so you can get those answers, or is she? Because you just said a mouthful, and I didn't think about that. Like maybe you didn't think about what she was going through, and why she did it that way. Based on, if you don't know, just from your perspective, is your girlfriend more so saying it from the perspective of you need to get maybe you need to get some answers from her, or is she saying it from the perspective that you shouldn't hold yourself hostage for the rest of your life because of this?
I think she has a different approach to family. My approach to family, because of the family I grew up with, is that even if it's a family member, if they're detrimental to your well-being, physical, mental, emotional, you need to get away from that. That whole family thing is accident. You were born into the same bloodline, but that doesn't hold you hostage to them. If they're not good for you, then they're not good for you. Brother, sister, cousin, mother, father, because you need to take care of yourself. Part of that is because I grew up around such violence and such agony and strife and hate. So some of that is stemmed from that, because I needed to get away from them. I couldn't live like that anymore. So she has a different family approach. Family's very important. You stick through people that are even going through tough times, even if they're not good to you. There's something good you can find in them. So that's sort of her approach. Mine's opposite. Part of me is like, hey, I'm okay with where my relationship is with my mother. She helps out every once in a while. Great. I thank her. Great. It doesn't have to be any more than that. It doesn't have to be hugs and kisses. That went out the window a long time ago. But the other part is, because I want to know more about me, myself, yourself is wrapped up in the people around you. We just kind of discussed this a little earlier about how my parenting style is based off of not just because I came up with it, but there's a lot of factors and a lot of people that created this in me. I was listening to a podcast this morning. I listened to Mark Maron's WTF. He had Louis Anderson on. You know the comedian Louis Anderson?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he plays some role where he dresses up as a woman. He's got this TV show, and he started to channel his mother in this role. Anyway, what he said, I'm just listening to this morning. He said his parents are deceased, his mom's dead. He's like, ask the questions while you can. Because when they're gone, you can't. So I got my girlfriend, I got Louis Anderson, in my ear, and I'm thinking, maybe I'll ask some questions. Maybe I'll get some better understanding. Maybe she won't answer them. I don't know. But maybe I make the attempt and say, hey, what was going on?
So what do you think would be your mom's reaction if you hugged her and kissed her?
Never mind her reaction. What would be my reaction? I don't even I'm scared to do that.
But what do you think? What do you think she would she be like? Whoa, whoa.
I think she would be like. Whoa, what are you doing? But she'll say she loves me. She does say that. She'll tell me in text.
And you don't say it back.
I don't say it back. It feels uncomfortable when it comes in text.
But she said it to you in voice, in person, right?
No.
So she's never said it in person.
No, but she'll say it in text sometimes.
Do you think if she said it in person to you, you would say it back?
No, I wouldn't. It feels uncomfortable in text. I would probably be like, whoa, you just crossed the boundary there, because it was never there. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people on the outside they had the thinking like you only have one mother and that's your mother but
no, I understand.
You know,
I understand.